long time no hear. I know it's been a while. That's my bad. Welcome to my live. I'm literally in the midst of meal prepping, and I was actually contemplating just recording the videos and uploading them as a YouTube short. And then I said to myself, you know, it's been a while since I've actually come on live. You guys know I always give the spiel that I like to come on live and socialize with you guys, engage with you guys, humanize my account, all the things. So here I am after what feels like a little bit of a hiatus. Life has been lifing. That's the short version. Just life is busy. And I just haven't really had time to edit. I've been cooking, but not really editing or honestly recording the cooking. So I definitely want to get back into that because, yeah, I mean, that's what this whole point is, right? Is like I said, I like to come on and do these lives when I can. And yeah, so I figured, you know, for the time being, I'm actually about to make 2 recipes. We are going to be making egg bites. So you see some egg whites and some of the ingredients here. And then we're going to be making mushroom risotto. And all of this is going to be meal prep. The mushroom risotto is lunch meal prep. And the egg bites obviously will be breakfast meal prep because I don't feel like cooking every day. So before we start, let me just get myself situated and then we'll get started. The first thing we're going to do is just prepare like the vegetables. Here, I'll just show you what we got going on here. So we have so for the mushroom risotto recipe, we have dried mushrooms over here, regular mushrooms. We have ciabatta bread, that's just, you know, to have with the mushroom risotto. Parmesan cheese. We have, Jesus, I always blank on this. We have this. I do not know why I always blank on this. We have the rice that will, you know, be the risotto dish. And then we have egg whites, bell peppers. I don't know why this keeps getting blurry. We have cottage cheese. We have shredded cheese. We have pearl onions. And we have mushrooms also. So we have mushrooms that is going to go in the egg bites. So what I'm going to do, let me just rinse off the spinach really quick. And then we'll get to chopping our produce. But like I said, I know it's been a while, guys. I apologize. Like I said, life has been very busy. But that's okay. You know, as it's busy, you make time for the things that you want to make time for. So, all right. So let's chop. We're going to chop up the spinach. Just chop this down. So what I'm doing, the reason that I am going to cook down the veggies is because of volume. So I have made this egg bite recipe before, and at the time I did not cook down any of my produce. I just put it in the muffin pan as is and poured the seasoned egg whites into it and made it that way. But I realized that the produce takes up more volume when it's raw, and so that's why I want to cook it down, at least so it's, you know, smaller volume, takes up less room, and therefore I can add the adequate amount of egg. I'm using egg white, but you can obviously use regular eggs. So that was just something that I took away from when I made it the last time, and I have that recipe on my YouTube short. So for that one I used turkey bacon, very similar ingredients here, mushroom, onions, shredded cheese, cottage cheese, etc., etc. So yeah, so that's why I'm just going to chop these down, and then I'm going to cook them down as well, just so that they take up less volume. So put the spinach here. And even as we're cooking down all the veggies, I will add the spinach last, obviously, because, I mean, spinach wilts pretty easily. So, all right, I'm just going to wipe this down because it's wet as hell. All right, and now we will go ahead and chop down the mushrooms. Just put this in the trash. But let me know, guys, how have you been? How was your holiday weekend? I know for me, it was very relaxing, very quiet. I didn't do too much rah-rah. My boyfriend and I actually did, I don't know if you guys are familiar with rail cycling, but we did that activity where, so I live in the DMV area, and there's an area in Maryland that's like, let's say 2 hours from like the main, so I live in like a suburb right outside DC, so it's 2 hours from here, Cumberland, Maryland. And they have this activity called rail cycling where you essentially sit in this kind of car cartridge type of thing. And it's attached to railroad tracks, and then you pedal your way through the railroad tracks. And it's really nice. It's Cumberland it's a very rural area of Maryland, so a lot of trees, a lot of hiking trails. So the railroad tracks circle through a lot of that forest area. So it's just really nice views. And yeah, it's a good time. It's something different. So we did that on Saturday. And then the rest of the weekend, I just took it easy, honestly, because like I just said, life has been lifing. So I've been trying to take it slow as much as I can. Let's see. So, but yeah, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon, considering that the holidays are coming up. And talk about with cooking, right? Like cooking, you know, at least sides for the Thanksgiving meal. And Christmas I'll be traveling though, so no cooking there. But just like a lot of stuff, a lot of get-togethers. And so just trying to pace myself so that I don't get burnt out, because as much as I love the holiday season, it's very easy to get burnt out with all that's expected of you. So, but anyway, that's okay. Like I said, it's all good things. It's just a matter of pacing myself. But anyways, for those that don't know, so again, there might be some of you that are new to my live, have never joined my live before. Those of you that have, you already know this intro. You probably know the intro by heart, but my name is Chiamaka, and I have this channel here on YouTube called Pockets of Protein. I made this channel because I am currently on a fitness journey. If you check out my Instagram, I post more about my the fitness aspect of my life. Some food, but more so fitness on my short form platforms, whereas YouTube I just dedicate for food. But on Instagram, I recently posted some progress photos, and I think it's pretty drastic. And I'm really proud of that. And so I use myself and my progress as social proof, which ties in with this channel, in that you do not have to literally starve yourself or subscribe to a life of just eating broccoli and chicken all in the name of being healthy. That was a big thing for me when I even started my fitness journey in the first place. I mean, when I say started, I've always been touch and go with the gym, even throughout college, but COVID happened, and again, life happened. I gained weight, got comfortable, all the things. So I got like serious about my fitness and my health overall in 2022, and it's been going well. And of course, been learning along the way. And I think I've gotten a handle now. 3 years later? October will make 3 years. 3 years later, where I think I have it down on like what proper portion sizes are, and also like how I can eat in a way that doesn't feel restrictive, because if you think about it, food is really at the center of a lot of the things we do. like celebrating, even grieving, right? Like when people have get-togethers and if somebody passed. I know in Nigerian culture, I'm Nigerian, like we host people in our house or in a hall, um, and you have to feed them, So it's like food really is a core thing, or a core element in really monumental moments in general. And so I just didn't want to approach this health and wellness journey with the mindset that I need to be restrictive with food. I also feel like in order for me to be successful, it needed to be sustainable. So am I going to eat broccoli and chicken every freaking day for the rest of my life? No. So it's like, can I have Burger King or McDonald's or like something that is an indulgence or feels like an indulgence, maybe with substitutions, and I don't feel like I'm losing my mind. And so that was why I created this channel. Everything that I make on my channel, I eat. Or I when I'm done recording and everything, I eat that meal. And so if you tie in the short form and like the progress photos with the YouTube videos, they go hand in hand. And so it just goes to show like your girl's not restricting herself here, but is literally building her dream body and is at optimal health. So that's why I created this channel. You'll see through my recipes, some of them are indulgence meals. A lot of the meals have a focus on protein, which is why the name of the channel is called Pockets of Protein. For me personally, I strength train like 4 to 5 times a week. So I need the protein to sustain my gains, sustain my progress. So there is a focal point on protein, but in general, you'll see like there's meals that like anybody can have, but that's the backstory to the title of this page. So if that resonates with you, that seems like something that interests you, please by all means subscribe. I'd love to have you. Like I said in the beginning, I try to come on lives. I've been doing really shitty recently, but I try to come on lives just to humanize the account, because I realize that obviously with cooking channels in general, the focus tends to be the food and not the person, and I feel like they should go hand in hand. All right, so now that that's over, what we're gonna do now is, like I said, I'm gonna cook down this produce. I'm gonna switch you guys around. Hi, Xander, welcome to my live. Can you mode me? I'm not sure what you mean. Can you explain what you mean? I don't know what that means. But welcome anyway, welcome to the live. All right, so we'll add the mushrooms. We'll add the pearl onions. We'll add the bell peppers. And I'll zoom in so you guys can see what's going on. Just gonna add a little salt. Let's get a spatula. And we're just, like I said, we're just gonna cook this down. And I have the oven preheated at 400 degrees. So when I've made egg bites, I've done 350 for 30 minutes. The mushroom risotto recipe that I will also be making in this live has a step where we need to bake the, let's say the regular mushrooms, because I have dried mushrooms and then I have regular mushrooms. We have to bake the regular mushrooms at 400 degrees. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna aim for like 15 minutes baking for the egg bites and see how they look and then go from there. But 350 degrees at 30 minutes works because that is what I know. So this will more or less be like a test trial. All right. So just gonna add in the spinach. Like I said, this is just, I do this so that it, like, these vegetables can wilt some. Okay. Hello, Renee. Welcome to my live. Welcome, guys. For those of you that are just joining, I am making meal prep right now. I'm making the vegetables for the egg bites that I'll be making. And we're also going to be making mushroom risotto. All right. That's done. All right. So now what we are going to do is bring you guys back over here. Okay. So these are the egg whites. Like I said, you guys can use regular eggs. I'm using egg whites because I don't want to use regular eggs. I'm trying to lower my cholesterol. I found out in some lab work that my cholesterol was high, even though it is quite hereditary for me. Both sides of my family have like cardiovascular diseases. So anyway, so I'm just like limiting red meat, eating egg whites, no yellow eggs, things like that. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of Cajun seasoning and just stir that around. Actually, I'm saying stir it around when we still need to add in the cottage cheese. So we have cottage cheese here. This is just to up the protein aspect of the egg bite. So we're just gonna add that in. Just I know for some that have made this recipe, they take their eggs, add in cottage cheese and blend it so the consistency is smooth. For me, I don't necessarily feel like I need to do that, especially because it bakes. I mean, everything bakes down, so. But again, do what works for you. All right, so now we have our muffin pan here. Okay, just want to make sure you guys can see what's going on here. Okay, and now we'll add, let's get the light. All right, so I'm just gonna add in the vegetables, a little bit into each cup. One other mistake I made when I made this the first time was overfilling, so I'm just trying to be mindful. I might even end up taking some out of the ones I've already put in, but we'll see. Because again, now that this is cooked down, the volume is a lot smaller than if I were to put them in raw. So I'm just going to take from this. All right. Now we're going to add in the egg white cottage cheese mix. And not too much because it expands when it's baking. And it seems like I'm gonna have a lot left over actually of the egg white, so I might use another baking pan and kind of make like a frittata kind of thing. I mean, it is a frittata, just baking it in a baking pan, so, but let's see. So now, after this live, you guys can make this and stop giving Starbucks all your money. I was a big fan of their egg bites because it's like high protein, low calorie, keeps you relatively full, like with whatever, like, you know, in addition to like your coffee drink or whatever. So yeah. All right, and then let me get another container because actually I don't think, yeah, we can. Let me get this Tupperware container. Can you guys see? Okay, you can. We're gonna bake the rest in this. All right. So now we have some shredded cheese. So I'll just distribute that. Sometimes like meal prep can be really tedious, but then like throughout the week when you're starving and you're looking for something to eat and you're getting hangry, things like this is where like the mental relief, it's feeling like no other. Okay, and then we'll just have the rest in here. All right, now I'm gonna put aluminum foil on a baking pan for the glass, for this, and then everything will go in the oven. And then we'll get started on the mushroom risotto. So put that here. And then we're gonna go ahead and put them in the oven. And like I said, it's at, let me switch you guys over here. It's at 400 degrees. And we'll try for like 15-ish minutes. And then go from there. Bottom. Okay. All right. Let's set a timer. See, set timer for 15 minutes. And just the open light so I can check. Okay, so that's going. Just turning you guys back around. And now let's work on our mushroom risotto. So, just throw this away. Excuse me. So for the mushroom risotto, again, I went over this in the beginning, but I'll go over it again. So we have mushroom, we got rice, we got these additional ingredients here, Parmesan cheese, some garlic or butter, and some dried mushrooms. So first thing we're going to do is take a pot. We're gonna add water and let that boil. Once the water starts boiling, we'll add the dried mushrooms in there and let it sit. That will create kind of like a mushroom broth, so to speak. We'll end up sieving out the dried mushroom. So this is what it looks like. So this is dried mushroom. So we'll have that sit in the boiling water for a couple minutes and then sieve this out and keep the broth. Okay, so in the meantime, we'll cut up some of the parsley. Let me put this ciabatta bread. This is just like, it's kind of like, we're gonna make kind of like a toast, like garlic bread on the side of pasta. It'll serve the same purpose. So let me get, where's my knife? Let's use a different cutting board. Okay. Let's make room here. All right. Alrighty. I think this is zoomed in. No, there we go. There we go. You guys should be able to see clearly. Okay, so now let's chop up the parsley. So you just take the leaves and okay. And just chop this down. Just with the leaves. Okay. Put that to the side. this off. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and mince the shallot. But you guys are quiet tonight. Are you guys mad at me that I haven't been on in a while? What's going on? Usually you guys are much chattier. Or are you guys just focusing on what I'm making? If that's the case, that's fine too. That is perfectly fine. I know it's also late here, so maybe a lot of you are tired from the day. It's what time is it? Like 8 o'clock? A little after 8 o'clock here. Okay. Now I'm realizing that since these mushrooms are already halved, because the recipe calls for halving or slicing in half mushrooms, but these mushrooms are already split. So let's put these in the oven and get them to be cooking or roasting while we prepare some of these other ingredients. So and I actually, let's see, can it fit? Yeah, I think it can fit with the egg bites and the frittata. So. All right, so just lay these out. And then we'll put some olive oil and some salt on them. There we go. Pinch of salt. Okay. And then I'll just take a glove and just coat the mushrooms like this. Okay. All right. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven with the egg bites, just so that we're being time efficient here. And I won't turn the camera around because I don't think you guys need to see me putting this in the oven. So, so just give me a minute and we'll continue. Ooh, our egg bites are coming along. Oh, I don't think this is gonna fit. Well, it's gotta be fitting me. But let's adjust. Okay. Where there's a will, there's a way. All right. So those are going. I'm gonna set another timer for the mushrooms for, let's say, 12 minutes. Give me 1 second. Set second timer for 12 minutes. All right. So now we can continue with what we were doing. And the water is boiling for the dried mushrooms. So once we're done chopping these down, we will add the dried mushrooms to the boiling water. Let me know in the chat, do you guys, when it comes to lives, do you like to see multiple meals or just one recipe at a time? I do it because, I mean, that's what I'm doing in real time. So I use that opportunity to, you know, like come on live and show you guys. But like in reality, do you like just one recipe at a time or like in this case, two? So let me know in the chat. All right, so I'm gonna turn you guys back around here so you can see the water is going. And we are going to go ahead and add in the dried mushrooms. Okay. And now what we'll do is take, let me use a old spatula and just stir it around. And I'm actually going to turn this off. We'll turn the heat off. So the idea is to let the dried mushrooms sit and hydrate. And after, let's say, 5-10 minutes, strain out the water. And we'll keep the water and discard of the mushrooms. So we're going to set that aside. Okay. Okay, make sure you guys are back in view. All right. So now, what we're gonna do is take another pot. Okay, turn you guys back over here at this point. I'm gonna take another pot and we are going to get our risotto going and cook down the shallots and add all the things. Zoom in so you guys can see up close what's going on. All right. So we'll add some oil. Okay. We'll let the pot warm up. And what we'll do is add in all of the chopped shallots. Let me zoom out so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So add in all of the chopped shallots and half of the chopped parsley, and the other half we'll use as like a garnish between the two meal preps. And go from there. So I'm gonna just check. I'm gonna move you guys because I want to check on the egg bites. I don't want it to burn. Yes, it looks so good. Let's see. Oh, is the light broken? Oh wait, no. Hold Okay, so I think the light in my oven is broken. Otherwise, I was going to show you guys what it's looking like. But anyway, it's, I think the timer on it is like 5 minutes. Let me check. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, 5 minutes. So I'll be done soon. I think the frittata still has some time though, but that's not the focal point of of this live. It's the egg bites. So anyway, so yeah, so we'll wait for the pot to warm up, and then we'll add in the shallots and parsley, and then go from there. And then we'll eventually add in the mushroom broth. Okay, so the timer actually just went off for the egg bites. Give me 1 sec. I want to bring them out and see if they're actually ready. For those of you that just joined, I've made this before, but I had made it at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Yeah, I could use more cooking. All right, that's good to know. So let's set another timer. Set another timer for 10 minutes. All right. So 15 minutes, 10 minutes, so that's 25 minutes at 400 degrees if it's ready to be taken out. All right, now, okay, there we go. You guys can't see what's going on in the pot. I want to be able to, okay, there we go. Okay, let's lower the heat. Add in the shallots. Like with the parsley. All right, and then after letting that kind of brown for, let's say, a minute, you're gonna add in your rice. So we have the rice here. Now while that's going, I'm going to take out the mushrooms, the dried mushrooms for the mushroom broth. How can I do this? Because I need the broth. Let's see. Let's use this ladder. Yeah, I don't know if you guys really want to see this part, but what I'm doing is taking the dried mushroom out. I've actually never eaten like dried mushrooms. Have any of you eaten dried mushrooms? Because I'm also wondering, I'm like, maybe I should just like add everything instead of taking it out. Anyway, it's my first time also cooking with dried mushrooms, so I don't know if it would make my food, bitter. I have an idea. Hold on. Don't know why I didn't think of that before. Okay. All right. There we go. So we have our mushroom broth. So, bringing you guys back over. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome to the live. Happy to have you. All right. So I think this is ready. So it looks like we can. So I'm gonna add in the mushroom broth to this mix. I was looking up on the side if dried mushrooms can be like eaten, and the consensus was yes, that it can. So now, while that's going, give me 1 second. Still checking on our egg bites. Okay. They're still going. So at this point now, this is going to cook down. We'll add in the Parmesan cheese. We'll make this kind of creamy. We have the mushrooms that are in the oven that are gonna go, sorry, I'm realizing that the camera's like way off. We have mushrooms in the oven that's gonna go in this. The Parmesan will make it creamy. This needs about, I wanna say like, I mean, depending on how high we cook this, but maybe, let's say 20 minutes? No, not even, like maybe 15 minutes. But we need to give it some time to cook. Okay. And it looks like our mushrooms are actually done. So let's take it out. So again, I'm gonna just shift you guys over here. Ooh. So I can take it out. Oh, guys, the egg bites are ready. Let me show you guys. Hold on. All right, let me show you guys the egg bites. They look really good. A little brown, but that's okay. I think that's the cheese actually that I put on top. So we got our egg bites. That's what we're working with. Like I said, a little brown because of the cheese, but that's okay. Still very good. I'm gonna let it cool down. But look how easy that was. Very simple. Anyway, and then we have the mushrooms that are gonna go in the mix over here. So, and then we got the frittata that's almost, more or less almost done. The extra egg white. All right, so now let's add in the mushrooms. second. Let me just scoop these up. Lower the heat. Okay, there we go. Stir that in. Okay, and then we have our butter. We're gonna add that in. We have our Parmesan cheese that we will add in as well. Let's off that. Okay. We stir that around. Okay. You can see it's like very buttery. It smells good. Okay. Okay. So we have ciabatta bread, but I'm not gonna make that because I want my ciabatta bread to be toasty and like fresh. When I eat this, it's meant to be eaten with the mushroom risotto, so but yeah, so like I said, we have our egg bites here that are done. So this is still kind of hot, so let's move this over. Okay. And then we're going to get our meal prep containers. We need to rinse two of them. Yeah, I need to rinse two of them. I used them earlier, so just give me 1 second. But they reheat really well as meal prep. Again, this is only 2 servings, so it's eaten in 2 days. I think anything beyond that, it might not taste that great, just again, freshness wise. But 2 days is more than, that's okay. Okay. So I have, move that to the side. So that one, and then we have the second one here. Okay. All right, and so now we will dish out our mushroom risotto. So let me bring the pot over there. It smells so good. Okay. Okay. And then, well, yeah, let's add on just a little bit of Parmesan as a garnish. I'll take you guys off the tripod in a second so you can see up close what's going on. You can see from the camera there, but it's not like me bringing you up close. Okay? Garnish with the remaining chopped parsley. Okay. And then let me take you guys off. So this is what we're working with. 2 servings of mushroom risotto. And then let's let me attempt to take the egg bite out of the pan so that we can assess the results. Let's see here. Let me get a glove. All right, let's see here. Let me get my little flexi. Get this out. Oh, there we go. Let me come and show you guys. This is what we're working with. I think I got cut off from the bottom, but that's okay. But yeah, this is the egg bite. And so, as you can see, there's 12 of them. And I think, so I measured these out, like I weighed everything in my calorie tracker. These are like, okay, why is it doing that? These are like 39 calories per one. It's like 5 or 6 grams of protein per one. So what's nice is that I can end up having wait, what am I saying? One of these is 50 calories. I'm thinking of another recipe I made. One of these is 50 calories and it's 6 grams of protein. So I could have 2 with like Greek yogurt, again, to like increase the protein amount. But if you think about caloric wise, it's not that heavy, but it packs a punch and you have more volume with your food. So yeah, and again, the ingredients that I included is spread out over 12 pieces. So that is my meal prep, guys. We got egg bites and mushroom risotto for lunch for the next 2 days. I can't believe an hour has gone by. But yeah, and this breakfast-wise, that should last me, I don't even know how many days. And I will probably meal prep again either tomorrow or the next day, like when I run out of this. Because I'm trying to limit how much I really have to be in the kitchen. That includes dinner. I've been meal prepping dinner as well. So, but either way, you enjoy, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And I try to post shorts as well as regularly as possible. I am about to start getting back into long form. I was, and then I stopped. But yeah, so that's what we're working with, guys. Thank you so much for joining my live. and I hope you guys all have a great evening ahead.